Donnie, you okay with Donnie? Donnie?
That's the only name I have.
Okay. Well, I mean Donald.
No one calls me that ever. My entire life.
There's a first time for everything. All right, here we go. I'm gonna count you down.
You
3.
call him Don a lot, Chris.
Who does?
You do. I've heard you call
I
him
know.
that a lot.
I call him Don. Yeah, but I mean,
Chris is the only one that calls me that too.
I think the general consensus is that it's Donnie.
Donnie.
Oh, I'm weird like that.
Used to be Little Donnie.
Little Donnie.
No respect.
I get no respect. What's up, guys, and welcome to episode 3 of Reel Amigos. My name is Chris, and I'm one of your hosts. Tonight, I'm joined, as always, by my 2 co-hosts, Donnie. Donnie, say hi.
Hi. Hola.
I was waiting for you to tell everybody that you lived in Jacksonville. That's normally
I
your
live
go-to.
in Jacksonville. That's in Florida.
That's normally your go-to. How you doing, man?
Doing good. How are you, man?
I'm good. I'm excited for tonight. I think tonight's going to be interesting because...
Oh, it's going to be amazing.
Well, we'll see about that. We're also joined, as always, by Phil. Phil, what's up, man?
Hello, hello.
How are you?
Got a haircut.
Yeah, I did. I saw that. It looks nice. Look at that.
I haven't felt once every 3 to 4 months, so you'll get used to it.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, if you're joining us for the first time, Reel Amigos is a movie podcast where 3 good friends get together and talk about movies. That's what we do. This is episode 3, and tonight we're going to talk about a supposedly fantastic movie.
Stop it.
Called Raising Arizona.
Are we? Wait, is Chris laying pipe here that he did not like this
Dude,
movie?
he clearly did not like this film, and it's really...
Listen, I don't want to get into it yet. So Raising Arizona was a 1987
Spoiler alert.
movie by the Coen brothers, and we're going to talk about that in a little while. But before we do, let's just talk about... No, you got to hold it right in front of your face, Donnie. We can't see it.
It's too bright.
It is too... Oh, there you go. Donnie is our resident... Our resident prop master.
If I don't laugh at any of Donnie's prop comedy, it's because I can't see him.
Yes, and if you're listening on the audio version, you can't see them either. So Donnie is holding up a Blu-ray copy of Raising Arizona, along with his sombrero and his parrot pinata. Listen, guys,
Correct.
You should definitely watch the show. So let me get plugs out of the way real quick. We are an audio and video podcast. You can watch us every Friday on YouTube. So go to YouTube. Do this for me. Subscribe. We cannot take our own URL until we have enough subscribers. So right now it's like youtube.com/blah, blah, 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 blah. And so we want that to be Reel Amigos. In the meantime, just search Reel Amigos and you can find us there. But the quickest way to get to us is on Twitter. You can go to Twitter. We are at Reel Amigos, and you can get to all of our links there and find out some more about what we're doing and the shows that we have coming up. We are on podcast services, so we're on Stitcher, we are on Apple Podcasts, we are on Google Play, we are on SoundCloud. So anything that you like to listen to, you can find us on there and subscribe to our channel. Okay. Do it. That's right. You've been told. So with that being said, let's kind of jump in. I just want to talk just general conversation to get stuff kind of going. You guys seen any movies since we talked last time besides Raising Arizona? Watch anything good we want to talk about? Anything?
I've watched a movie or 2, but nothing good.
Nothing good. What about you, Phil?
No movies. Picked up a couple of new Netflix shows, but no movies.
You're watching or listening to this several weeks after the Oscars, but for us it's pretty close. So the Oscars were recently, and Guillermo del Toro won Best Director and Best Picture for The Shape of Water. How do we feel about that, guys?
Well, I have a piece of trivia in keeping with that.
Oh, please do.
3.
3 what?
What is 3?
Well,
Billboards
the number
outside
after,
Ebbing, Missouri.
It's the number after
Close,
2.
Donnie.
It's the number after 2?
No, it's the number of Oscar award-winning actor or actresses that are in Raising Arizona.
In Raising Arizona. That is correct.
Oh.
I was going to say that.
It is a great cast. I didn't realize how good the cast was.
Holly Hunter, Nic Cage,
Frances
Frances McDormand.
And Frances McDormand.
John Goodman, I believe, has been nominated. for something.
Yeah, probably.
And he's won some other stuff.
He's
Obviously,
won Golden
Emmys
Globe.
and-
Yeah, he's great. So Shape of Water. My favorite thing about Shape of Water was I sent you guys a picture that I found of somebody that made a little fan art that where it says it says Grinding Nemo.
I didn't see the movie, but I get the connotation.
It was this is why I love the internet.
like,
The internet
what
is
is it?
fantastic.
What is it? Isn't it just the Creature from the Black Lagoon?
It's
meets
basically Creature
This
from the Black
Love?
Lagoon. Yeah, so the general gist of the movie is Sally Hawkins plays a mute girl who works in a facility where they have captured this creature, and she teaches the creature. Obviously, the creature can't speak English.
I believe it's vocally challenged.
Yeah, sure. So she teaches him.
Nonverbal.
She teaches him sign language, and they fall in love, and stuff happens.
Is this one of the signs that she teaches?
I watched it. I actually liked it. I mean, it's a little gratuitous at times for no reason it needs to be. But Michael Shannon's in it. I absolutely love Michael Shannon. I think that guy's great. So
Isn't it just like Splash? I mean, Tom Hanks.
Sure, a little bit like
Mermaid?
Splash. It's a little bit like King Kong. I mean, it's.
Is it?
I mean, kind of. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
In that a creature falls for a human, I think is the.
yeah, but I mean, there's
I
also
see
there's
what you did there, Phil.
there's
Creature
also
fall.
there's also some there's some this creature can't be trusted. We need to kill it because we don't understand it, kind of thing, and like all
Why
that's
is
in
that
there.
always I don't get that narrative in movies. There's no way. You're gonna tell me if we dug up the thing that proved the missing link, or that there was a fish man, you're telling me that in our society we believe we would just kill it?
Well, no, that's not what they do though. They capture it and they
But aren't they planning to basically dissect it alive?
Yeah, yes.
Or that
Yeah.
they might get learned?
But then you have the opposite of that, like Aliens, where they don't want to kill it when they should.
That's true.
They want to capture it, and it ends up killing them all. Spoiler alert.
That's true. Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
30
There's
years
no good way around it. So the Shape of Water one, I tweeted as soon as this happened that when I was a kid, I used to have to defend all four of the Ninja Turtles being in love with April O'Neil. So I'm just saying that Ninja Turtles was ahead of the curve. I mean, they were blazing trails in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? Way before the Shape of Water was ever even considered.
They already nailed that whole animals loving humans
They
thing.
did it. They nailed it.
Good.
Amphibian, creatures in love with human women.
Reptile. They're a reptile, but that's okay. Keep going.
Whatever. Scaly
Not the same.
aliens. Whatever. Okay. Anything else? Anything else from the Oscars? Did you guys even watch the Oscars?
No.
No. Man, I like the Oscars. All right. Enough of that then. Coco won Best Picture, Best Animated Feature, by the way. Coco is brilliant. I love it, and it was great. Okay. So with that being said, go ahead.
Little Coco trivia.
Okay.
We had a choice when we went to the theater to see either Coco or Ferdinand.
Oh, that was.
We chose Ferdinand.
Oh,
What's
that was
Ferdinand?
the wrong choice.
John Cena as a talking bull.
Oh.
A bull.
Well, it's a book. Ferdinand's like a classic kids book, isn't it?
Let me tell you something. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Uh-huh.
Thought it was actually really good.
Well, it was nominated. It was nominated. It was one of the 5 nominees for Best Picture, for Best Animated Feature.
Animated movies out last year.
Yeah, they had Boss Baby.
Boss Baby.
And
which I've only seen in 3-minute snippets in total disjointed pieces, because I'll come in the room and my kids will be watching it and I'm like, what is happening? Well, I don't understand.
It's
how this
okay.
thing's wearing
It's
Give me the plot, guys. I need it.
Alec Baldwin's funny, but it's okay. All right, let's do this. Before we jump into our topic, we always like to kind of ask a little trivia question around the movie that we're doing. Tonight it's Raising Arizona, starring the wonderful Nicolas Cage. And so we thought the question we should ask tonight is, what movie should Nicolas Cage have starred in? So we asked this to each of us beforehand so we could maybe have something wise to say. So let's start with Donnie. Donnie kind of got there pretty quick. So Donnie, what do you got? What movie should have starred Nicolas Cage?
Die Hard.
Wait a second, as John McClane?
as John McClane.
Oh
Yes.
man, I don't know about that.
Hans
Gruber. Nic Cage as Hans Gruber.
Maybe I can buy him. I can maybe buy him as Hans Gruber. Yeah. I don't know, dude. I mean, come on. Like I'm not.
One.
What?
He could play either one.
He could play both of them.
He could play both.
He did that.
Where?
He played that in Adaptation. He played
Adaptation.
two twins.
In Face Off, he played himself and John Travolta,
John Travolta
as well.
Yes, good point.
Man, I love Face Off. I mean, it was a horrible movie, but I absolutely love it. Phil, what about you? So, okay, Die Hard. I disagree. Bruce Willis.
Oh, we were supposed to be serious.
No,
is that supposed to be a serious question?
Well, no. Mine's definitely not serious. I'm just saying, don't ruin Die Hard. I love Die Hard.
I love Die Hard. It's amazing.
Nick Cage would be pretty crazy though. Here, the thing I love about Nick Cage is he can monologue. You know, like really, like just crazy off the wall, and he could have been great.
He's an insane person.
I mean, he is. I mean, I
Literally.
actually think that he is.
I've read his quotes in real life, and he's crazy.
He's bonkers.
He's not acting.
He's like the Shia LaBeouf of Donnie's generation.
Right. There you go.
That's our pull quote for this episode. I love it. All right, Phil, your turn. Picture that should have starred Nicolas Cage.
Remake Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He's Leatherface.
Ooh, I like that.
That.
But okay, so now I haven't watched these.
It would almost be like a play on Face Off.
I don't think Leatherface says anything though, does he?
That's what I was gonna ask.
But come on, dude. Does Nick Cage need to say anything?
No, but do you see his face? I thought.
Oh, yeah, you have to see his face.
Because do you see? Okay, so here's the thing. I don't watch Spookies movies, so
he's
do you
super
see
expressive.
Do you see his face?
Back up. Did you call them Spookies?
Yeah, Spookies. I don't watch the Spookies. So do you see Leatherhead's face?
Leatherface, not Leatherhead.
So.
Oh, Leatherface.
And
wait,
no,
his name is
not.
Leatherface?
His name is Leatherface.
Oh, that's right, Leatherhead. Oh man, Leatherhead
He could have been He could have been Pinhead from Phantasm or Hellraiser. I mean.
See, I think Leatherhead is the alligator from Ninja Turtles. What about he would have been a great Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, perfect.
He'd have been a great Freddy Krueger. That'd have been good.
He could have starred in that movie, American.
Yeah, nailing it.
Sorry,
American
I apologize.
Sniper, American Beauty.
No, the one with
Terminator.
American Pie.
Serial killer played by Batman. God, I can't think of anything
Michael
right now.
Keaton.
No, the new Batman.
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale plays
Psycho.
the serial killer.
Ben Affleck.
American Psycho.
American Psycho.
Yeah.
That could have been Nick Cage.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that wouldn't have been acting.
That would have just been his life.
That would have just been him like narrating his own life.
He was supposed to be Batman. Or like he auditioned for it.
No, Superman.
He could have been the Terminator.
Superman. Yeah. They built a. Oh, hey. Speaking of, this is completely kind of off topic, but they just announced today that they're doing the Teen Titans Go, which is an animated. They're doing a feature film this July, and Nick Cage. They've cast Nick Cage as Superman in Teen Titans Go, which is a nice callback. It's just a voice, but still, it's funny. Okay, right. So mine is simple. I really want to see Nick do mocap, and so I would say Gollum. I would put him in Lord of the Rings as Gollum.
Chris structured the entire question around getting Nick Cage to say "my precious."
I just think that one of my favorite scenes in Lord of the Rings is when he's doing that. Kind of that back and forth. I believe, don't quote me on this because they all kind of blend together. I believe it's in Two Towers when Gollum is going between good Gollum or Smeagol and Gollum, and he's kind of going back and forth. And I would just love to see Nick Cage. You know what? I don't even want Nick Cage to do mocap. I just want Nick Cage to be dressed like Gollum and just do the movie. That's
you just want him crawling around on all fours. That would be amazing. You really nailed it. I'm gonna give points to you on that.
That's
question.
Good. Thanks, man. I can spend these points one day. All right. With that being said, we need to jump into why we're here, which is to talk about the 1987 cult classic Raising Arizona.
I love him so much.
I know you do, honey.
I love him so much.
I know you do.
So, I'm going to tell you guys right up front. Let me get what I need to say out of the way. I'm going to let you guys talk for a little while since this was pretty much y'all's pick. I had never seen Raising Arizona before this week. Never seen it.
You have no context.
I watched it twice. And I don't know how I really feel about it. There are some things that I like, and there's some things that really drive me crazy. And I think it may just have it may have to do with the era that it was in. But I had some let me tell you my biggest problem. The moment in the movie that I thought, what am I watching? When he goes to kidnap the kids, I don't understand why it takes him that long the first time to decide he doesn't want a kid. That scene is like 7 minutes. And he leaves with no kid.
You're killing me.
I don't get it. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking. I want you guys to tell me. Let's start with Phil, because I think Donnie is really passionate. So let's start with Phil. Let's talk about the movie. I want to know when the first time you can remember seeing it, and what your initial impression of it was, as I just gave mine. Phil?
Okay, so I have no clue. Whenever it came out on VHS.
Okay.
So the backstory, and I don't want to steal any of Donnie's bio here, but
carry on. You're good.
Most of what I know of movies from this era are because my brother, Sombrero Man, worked at a movie store and would come home with like, "Hey, we're gonna watch this," and I'd be like, "Okay." I'm 7 years younger than him. If he said we were doing this, we were doing it. And so, I don't know. It's just I saw it when I was a kid.
I know when you saw it. I'll share it in a minute.
I probably didn't get most of it the first time through, but again, like Three Amigos, it sort of became a backdrop piece to just like a lot of quotable quotes, a lot of things that we laughed about, just kind of, that heart on the outside part with like
so good.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's so good.
Just all that stuff just became part of the quotes that we would throw at each other. And so, but it's funny, Chris, because I talked to my dad today about the movie, and he told me, he said, I remember you guys and us thinking that movie was hilarious. And apparently at some point he had my nephew, Donnie's son, over at his house, and they watched it. I think while Brent was in college, and they watched it, and apparently neither of them laughed. and Dad was like, well, it was funny back then. So
you guys are killing me.
But makes me laugh. Still makes me laugh.
Good.
All right, Donnie, you're up. Let's hear it.
Oh, man. Anyway, we can talk about scenes later. But, yeah, I like it because it's dry.
That's it. That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. That's the point.
Yeah.
So we saw it. It was probably 1989. I brought it home from the video store. I didn't really know what it was. And my family thought I had lost my mind because I was dying. I was cracking up the whole movie. My parents were there. Phil was there. And Phil, he didn't really get it. I don't think my parents really got it either.
1989, I would have been 11.
Yeah. I mean, this movie is probably one of my top 3 comedies of all time.
Oh, wow.
It is great, and I think it stands the test of time. I love it.
Chris, if you watched it with Donnie, you would laugh.
I cracked up today. I was watching it today. I was dying.
Probably. No, I mean, don't get me wrong. I didn't not laugh. There were a couple of times that I thought it was funny. I like the quirkiness of it.
That's the whole thing.
But it just, I don't know.
That's the whole scene you were talking about. That's the whole point of him. He's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Bumbling goofball.
He is. He's a bumbling idiot.
It's like my problem is like everything. I don't know. I just at every moment of the movie, I thought they were making the wrong choices. Like
They
at
are,
every
it's the
moment.
point.
Like I never thought there was a time that I rooted for them. They were always doing the stupid stuff. I don't know.
It's true.
Do you like the Coen brothers?
I
generally?
do. I mean, I do. I like, you know, I love Fargo. I like Hell Caesar. Like these. Again, I don't misunderstand. I don't think that the movie was bad. I enjoyed watching it. I just, knowing Donnie and hearing the high praise going in, I thought this was going to be like I think Three Amigos is a better movie.
Oh my goodness.
So, or more enjoyable, if you will. I don't know. I think there's a lot of nuance, and I think I need to watch it. I think I need to watch it more.
This movie is Nicolas Cage in all of his cageness, dude. This is it. This is him on display.
His
Total
hair,
insanity.
his hair in this movie is my favorite part of this movie.
Oh, it's crazy. The very opening scene, he's standing in front of the police camera, and he's staring at Ed. That sets the whole stage for the movie. It's so good. It's just this, like Phil said, this bumbling idiot. It's great. I love it.
I do love when he goes to the second time and Ed's bawling. And
Yeah.
he's just like, you tell him. You tell him where I'll be. He gives him the address.
The exact address, yeah. It's I love it.
I do like the three old people that he has to talk to at the parole board every time he gets out.
Yes.
And they're like, now,
Yeah.
you're not just telling us what you want to hear, are you? Well, no, I'm not. And he's like, all right, because that's what a lot of people do. He's like, well, I mean, if that's what they're doing, then that's what I'm doing. No.
There's a word for what you're doing. It's recidivism. Repeat offender. Sorry, I'm reenacting. I'll stop.
No, it's good. It's good. It's good. Okay, so I brought up the bedroom scene with the kids, and you said that I'm missing it.
Dude.
That was the scene. That was the moment when I was like, I don't know that I like this movie. So
Are you kidding me?
I just don't understand,
scene.
Donnie.
Okay, the child abduction scene is one of my favorite scenes ever of any movie I have ever seen.
Just snip that, please, and let's use it later.
It
That's
is
full quote.
I'll put that on Facebook.
The way that Nic Cage is breaking down in that room gradually with those kids, he's just and then her response when he comes back without the kid,
Yeah, she
she's
won't
like,
let him
"Oh,"
get
and he's walking up and she goes, "Oh!" She goes, "You go back in there and get me a baby." Like it's great, man. It's hilarious.
They got more than they need.
Right. It just didn't work out, honey.
It just doesn't. I don't know. Like
That's the whole point.
Listen. Here. Okay. Let's back up.
I could watch that scene on a loop all day. I love that scene.
Okay.
The whole
Wait.
scene.
So like, at Three Amigos, we watch a singing bush and an invisible knight get killed. Okay?
Swordsman.
Whatever. Swordsman.
Straight.
And I'm okay with that because I feel like the movie is satire. But like I didn't find this movie to be satirical, but like that scene, why do you stay there? Just grab a kid. There is no reason for him to be in that bedroom for 8 minutes.
He's trying to figure out which kid to take. There's 5 of them.
Pick it apart. It's because he's good.
He's a good guy. He doesn't want to steal the baby.
Steal someone's kid. The irony is, in this movie, I don't know if it's irony or if it's the moral of the story, he's the good guy. Right? Like, even when it comes to Ed, she's the one that forces him into this. She cajoles him into this abduction, forces him to be a father when he doesn't want to be. Oh. And he's
because she wants a critter.
What, you kidding me? We got ourselves a family here.
Dude, that line is amazing. That's one of my favorite lines ever.
So
just out of the blue.
Out of nowhere. What, are you kidding me? We got ourselves
what, are you kidding me? We got some family here. That's so good, dude.
So I will say this. I think my favorite scene or my favorite sequence was when the other couple came over.
Oh yeah.
With all of their kids, that scene made me miserable. And I have 4 kids, and it made me just realize what it's like when I go to people's house. And I just finished watching it, and I just told Christian, I'm like, we're never going to anybody's house again. Just
kids, get away from Mr. McDonough's car.
When people invite you over, you should send that clip to him and be like, "Are you sure?
Are you sure?" We have I don't want to say that. Yeah. Okay. So, but I love that scene where the kid's like the kid paints fart. He's learning his letters. He paints fart on the wall.
Hit the deck, son. What's funny is later when Glenn gets wounded when he runs into the tree. Spoiler. And she's talking to him about Ed is talking to H.I. about it wasn't funny that you clobbered him, and he says, "Well, his kids seem to think it was funny." It's like I can see all them kids laughing at that.
Talking about wife swapping.
Oh my gosh,
that was a great scene.
By the way,
when he just punched him.
Holly Hunter is awesome in this movie, man. I love her in this movie.
I think the whole when I don't know the other guy very well, but when the 2 crooks, I love when they get out of prison.
John
the first
Forsythe?
thing they do is what'd you say?
John Forsythe.
William Forsythe.
William
Forsythe. Okay, and then John Goodman.
He's in a lot of stuff,
when they
actually.
get out, they're covered in dirt.
Not dirt.
Poop.
Not just dirt.
That's right. Poop. But they are slicking their hair back.
Yeah, right.
And they're using
That's important, man.
A handful.
That's important. Hair's got to look good, man.
Okay, let me tell you the scene that did get me completely back on board.
Did they use the same hair product in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Oh, maybe.
Probably. This was pomade. I think it was pomade.
Yeah.
It was, what is it? I'm a handy Dan man. Or what is it? A dandy Dan man? I can't remember.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay,
Sorry,
here's the moment that I loved that really got me back on board. When the biker guy,
Leon Small,
his introduction scene when he throws a grenade at that rabbit and you see the rabbit come down out of the sky behind him. I watched it 3 times.
Oh, really? I haven't seen. I gotta look at that closer.
You can you see it explode, and then you just see something like almost directly behind him fall down and hit the ground.
I gotta check
clearly
that
it's
out.
probably not the rabbit, but there was something there that fell.
Well, I think that lizard really died because that thing exploded off that rock.
He shoots it with a shotgun, which for the record probably couldn't do it.
That guy was in
Fletch Lives.
Fletch Lives. Bend over. That was what I was going to say. That's the connection. What is his real name?
I can look it up for you.
Randall Tex Cobb.
Tex Cobb. That's right.
He was a kickboxer and a boxer before he got into acting, if that's what you want to call his theater career. Acting.
I was reading some of the just little trivia things, and he did not know how to ride a motorcycle before this movie.
Yeah.
So he had to learn how to ride, and they actually have an outtake where he drove into the hole that John Goodman and the other guy crawled out of. He was supposed to stop before it in that scene where he goes to investigate, but he drives into the hole, which I think is pretty funny.
Did either of you guys, in preparation for this, watch the original trailer to the movie?
I did not.
Negative.
It's no wonder it didn't do well. It's just, I mean, if you've seen the movie, you're like, classic. But when if you were watching it in 1988, thinking about summer blockbusters or whenever it was released, you'd probably be like, what is this? What is this?
Yeah, this is unlike anything I'd ever seen when I watched it. That's why it was so funny.
It is definitely that. Even still.
The wry humor is just, it's too much, man. I will say this.
Hope wear a funny hat?
Yeah, Glenn. I guess it is kind of funny.
How'd you get yourself a healthy one? Or however he said it.
I will say this. I would say that in this movie, Raising Arizona, there is more screaming than any non-horror movie that I've ever seen.
That's true.
There is a lot of screaming and yelling.
There is a lot of screaming.
Lots of yelling. Mostly men yelling.
Mostly. So I watched. So I actually ended up watching it again last night in bed while my wife was sleeping, and I normally keep it kind of quiet anyway, so it doesn't wake her up. But it gets to the very end where John Goodman and the other guy, William, what's his face?
Forsyth.
They leave the baby at the bank. Oh, yeah. And they both start screaming, and they scream the entire drive back to the thing. And I literally, my volume's on like 2, because all it is like, ah, ah. It's just like, God.
And John Goodman is punching the ceiling of the car. He's punching the,
You go back, watch it again.
It's great, man.
Watch it again when they first realize that he's not in the car. And they start screaming. Forsyth looks out the window, right, to see if he's on the roof.
Right.
And when he comes back in, he goes, ah! Like he's talking through the scream. Like,
I know. I watched it with subtitles, and there was no subtitle for what he was yelling at that point. That is great. That is so funny, man.
It is.
And then they're like, "We're never leaving him again. We're never giving him up."
He's a little.
It's good.
What did he call him? A little. He got a little.
Can we talk about the fight scene for a minute?
Wait, which
in the trailer?
Oh yeah, with him and John Goodman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
probably the most realistic fight scene
tornado
ever.
It is pretty realistic until the tornado swing, which lasts way too long.
Oh, the tornadoes! Yeah.
Chris has a problem with time scale in this movie. Everything is too long.
It's just not realistic. I mean, eventually you're gonna get dizzy. Just throw him down.
Dude, when they start fighting,
throws him through the wall.
What? No, but I'm talking about the knuckle scratch on the ceiling.
Yeah.
He goes back to hit Goodman with both hands.
That's right.
And he scrapes his fingers on the ceiling, and he goes, "Ah!" You know what?
Like
I relate to that. I totally would relate to that. I would do that.
And then John Goodman he goes to punch him, I think. It's John Goodman, right? And he goes through the window, and he can't
elbow the window, hand through the cupboard. Yeah. It's so funny.
That's what a fist fight in a single wide mobile home would be.
And then Forsyth's in the bathroom, in the bathtub, holding the baby.
Holding the child.
That's hilarious.
It is hilarious.
That is good. I like it. So so let's talk about another thing that was way too long. But this one I'm not as mad about. The whole returning to the life of crime scene where he needs to get diapers.
Oh yeah.
No, not too long.
Love it.
No.
He ends up going through one whole store, then a neighborhood, then a couple of houses, then a department store. It's just a little too much.
Yeah. When he flies out the window. So good.
When he flies the truck? Yeah.
Out of the truck.
When he turns around, he goes.
Truck the whole time for the guy. He's like yanking the wheel, hitting the brakes.
But he whispers thank you to the guy when he lands in the yard. He turns and goes, thank you.
Thank you. So this is the pantyhose scene specifically because about a few minutes through, he pulls it up and then he just has like these long pantyhose on his head. Go ahead.
When he gets in the truck, when the guy pulls up, he's got the pantyhose up. Down. No, when he first hits him in the road, he's got his pantyhose up, I think.
When he comes in the truck, he has it pulled down.
Right, and then he comes to the truck, and that's when the guy's like, "Boy, you got a panty on your head."
Yeah, right.
Timer.
So the very first attempt, the kid pushes the thing for the cops to come, and he's just taking his sweet time, and then of course Ed sees him, and Ed's like, "That's summer," and so she like gets out, and she just leaves him. And then, so then the cops are coming, right? And so then he's standing outside, and he's yelling at her. And then the shot comes because the kid's got a gun now. Right about that time, the cops show up, right? So now the cops...
has the gun from the Three Amigos quick draw scene.
He sure does. He sure does. Now, when the cops come, the passenger cop is sitting outside of the door shooting. The guy behind him is shooting, and Nicolas Cage is running, just sprinting down the street, and nobody shoots him. He has a car behind him with a guy out of the car shooting at the back of his head.
That guy is lighting up that neighborhood, man. He is blazing away for like 5 minutes. He's just randomly firing into every house.
Oh man! And they do that when they get to the grocery store too. He's going down to every aisle. The guy's shooting. There's people everywhere. And he's just
and then the manager, he pulls out a shotgun and he's blowing everything away too. It's great.
In this movie though, glass is an effective hide behind surface for bullets.
It is pretty secure, right?
Because he does shoot through the window, nothing. The man is in the street, shoots through the windshield, nothing. Both Nic Cage and the old man are both just like, the glass explodes. They kind of, whoa.
And then Leon shoots through their windows later on in the station wagon.
Right.
Oh, that's right.
Both sides.
So as long as there's a layer of glass between you and large caliber bullets, they'll be fine.
You're good. You're good. Oh man.
Best line. That scene, Chris, you say is too long, but it's filled with great lines.
Oh,
I'll be taking these Huggies and whatever cash you got.
Whatever.
You got a candy on your head.
When he's explaining it to Ed in the car and he keeps stopping and saying, "Turn left, honey."
Turn
right, honey.
Turn right. And he just
so good.
Up.
It's so good.
Oh man.
I can't believe you think that was too long.
I can't believe that we left out. You mean JR just like the TV show? That's good.
Good. Nic Cage, man, goes. Like,
I know, he's cracking up, dude.
Even Ed laughed at that line. If you go back and watch it, she's like,
oh my God,
that's the same level for everyone in the room.
Oh man,
like
so funny.
They like that joke. When she says, "Now you boys can't stay here," and John Goodman leans forward and he's like, "Now hi, who wears the pants in this family?"
Right. Yeah.
Just like, oh, he gets that nervous. Like, oh.
Yeah, and then they do it again to him, or like maybe the next day or something, and he or is that later that night? And he turns to him and he winks at him like this. Just it's hilarious.
Yeah. Nic Cage winks at him. Yeah.
He winks at the guys like
he's
hold
setting
on
him
a second.
Yeah, I'm setting it up. It's all right.
And then you see him groveling in the bedroom. Did you guys happen to notice that when Glenn and HI go off walking in the desert, that Nic Cage is carrying his shoes in his hand,
and he has flip-flops,
and he stops, and he puts the shoes on, and he had flip-flops on. He takes them off, so he's walking through the desert with a pair of flip-flops. What is that?
And you assume he has socks too, so he socks and
right.
flip-flops.
Well, he did earlier have socks with flip-flops on.
Yeah.
He had a hose in his hand spraying the garden or whatever.
That is weird.
It's just so weird, man.
That Forsyth guy. Okay, here's a piece of trivia.
All right, let's have it.
We pulled out the Randall Tex Cobb connection to our previous podcast. What other movie were Forsyth and Nic Cage in together?
The Rock.
Ding, ding, ding.
He was he was an agent or something.
He was the agent. He was the one that said, when Nic Cage said, "Yeah, the bomb eviscerated him," or whatever the word is, he's like, "Eviscerated, huh?" And then he smiles and kind of they're in on the joke. He was the agent that was cool with letting Sean Connery go.
My daughter-in-law opened a bank account for him.
Wait. Oh, okay.
For William Forsythe.
She worked at the bank.
She was a bank teller, and he came in, and she didn't recognize him exactly, but then she eventually found out, and she told me, and I was like, "No way, that dude was in Racing, Arizona."
That's crazy.
So I'm like,
that guy walks to a bank teller to start an account.
I don't think
man.
I don't think
like
he's
6
super
degrees
popular.
Kevin Bacon to Raising Arizona. It's amazing.
Like, pretty impressive.
That is pretty impressive.
So
there's a game we should bring back. 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon.
6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. I like it.
So how do you put these diapers? What does he say? He says, "What about how do you work these diapers, old timer?"
Yeah, he's just like fold them and tape them in the front or something.
They go around the butt and you pull them up in the groin area. That guy was killing me. That old guy. He says he picks up the balloons. Do these blow up into funny shapes? If round is funny. That was a great line, dude. I wish I had written that line.
The next line when they're in the car and Goodman goes, they blow up into funny shapes. And Forsyth goes, nah, just circular.
That's a great line, dude. Oh man.
Just circular. Just circular.
I will say, talking to you guys about it, I feel like that I enjoyed it more than I did watching it.
You don't enjoy it because it's like, oh, this is highbrow filmmaking. It's
genius filmmaking. It's
Yeah.
brilliant.
no doubt. I mean, it's not going to win any Oscars, but Chris, your whole thing about like time, and I was thinking about this sincerely, as like from a filmmaking perspective with all of my filmmaking background. Your whole thing about time, I think, is the point. Like, they're extending these ridiculous scenes past the point of sensibility, and then you're like, okay. It's like
absurd. That's the point.
It's absurdity, right? Like, it's like looking you.
It is. It's totally supposed to be that.
Totally into the ground, and then it's like it was funny. Now it's dumb, and now it's funny again.
Right.
Like,
I get that. I mean, I get that.
That's like we haven't even mentioned Nathan Arizona.
That
guy.
The dad.
Whenever he gives his speech when they're at the door and he's like, "Let's find them," and then as they start pulling him away, they're like, "Sir, we got." He's like, "If you can find or whatever," he's like, "Don't forget about Unpainted Arizona. If you can find a better deal."
In Unpainted Arizona. He said, "What does he say? If you can find lower prizes anywhere, then my name ain't
Nathan Arizona."
He hangs up the phone with that line at home. That guy died like a year later after this movie. He's only 40 years old.
Oh wow!
What was his name before you changed your name, sir?
Oh,
Would you buy furniture from a store called Unpainted?
It was Nathan
Huffines.
Huffines, that's right.
Unpainted Huffines.
That's right, Huffines. Unpainted Huffines. And then they're like, "Sir, we see your point." I love when they're starting to the questions and the FBI is there, but then the cop comes in and the cop's like,
"It's not the FBI. It's the federal BI," according to Nathan Arizona.
Whatever.
Carry on.
But then he's like, "Sir, what was he wearing?" And the FBI is
wearing?
like,
"Jammies.
Like, we got this." Jammies.
What was on his jammies? I don't know. Yoda's.
Oh man!
How come everybody is in here and nobody's out there? The one place I know my son is not.
Right. That's that. I thought he was pretty good. I liked him.
Yeah, I mean, he was good. So Frances McDormand. So let's talk about Frances. So Frances was the first time I remember, because again I hadn't seen this movie. The first time I remember seeing Frances McDormand was in Fargo, which I loved. And then we talked about Three Billboards a little bit, and and she just won outstanding.
She won an Oscar for that too, right?
Lead
so
actress.
2 Oscars.
Yeah, 2 Oscars, both for those. Did you know? By the way, sidebar. Did you know she's married to one of the Coen brothers?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
No.
See, I had no idea. Kind of researching this movie, I found that out. Anyway, I thought that was funny.
John, I believe.
Sure.
Joel.
Is it Joel? Joel and Ethan?
Joel.
Correct.
Yeah.
One of the Joe.
So I thought she was pretty great in this.
Oh, hilarious.
Having come off three Billboards and just thinking she's a great actress in general, watching this to one of her early earliest
Gotta get his tats.
She just starts going through all that.
We've all had those people in our life.
Oh, absolutely.
He's an angel from heaven.
I think you should name him Jason. I think you should name him Jason. I just love biblical names.
I love biblical names.
And then
she says, I want to name my kid Tab. Tab. Oh my goodness.
What did she yell across the kid's putting the diaper on his head? What she says something.
Riley, you take that diaper off your head, you put it back on your sister.
Right! You take that diaper off your head, you put it back onto your sister. Anyway.
You take the diaper off your head, you put it back on your sister.
Oh, she does. She's great because she just like you said, Phil. Like we all have those people. She transitions from social to mom mode in 2 seconds flat. And like we all know people like that
She's
just
Will
switch.
Ferrell in the Kids Get Off the Shed skit.
If you don't get off the shed, now get off the shed. What do you think of the fountain? You like that?
Oh, it's a great.
That's right. Exactly.
Kids, get off the shed. What were you saying?
Even beyond that, even beyond the like transition between social and mom thing, we all have those people that like when we were new parents, like made us feel like we didn't know what we were doing.
Oh, absolutely.
And she's like, we got to get the cat, honey. Like everything she said, she's like, we got to do that.
And then she's like, well, who's your pediatrician? And she's like, we don't have a pediatrician. He's like, hi, do we have a pediatrician?
Yeah, pediatrician.
Isn't that when HI starts kind of breaking down when he's
kind of
freaking out?
That whole sequence is him degrading.
Really because that's when he goes out to the store next, right?
Yeah.
The next scene is like, I gotta go get this out of my system. I gotta go be an outlaw.
Yeah.
He's a little outlaw. That was what he called him. He's a little outlaw.
Your true nature.
A little outlaw. I mean, so I will say this. Talking to you guys about it, I really want to watch it again now. I want to be clear. I did not think it was bad. I don't know. I wasn't sure, and I still am not sure exactly how I feel about it. I think there were some funny parts that I like really smart funny parts, and then there were just parts that just really irritated me. And the baby scene, I'm telling you, dude, the baby scene is one that sticks with me. I just don't understand it.
Nic Cage makes that scene, dude. If it had been anybody else, they would have cut it shorter, but he just keeps going. He's selling that whole thing, man. I love that scene. It's one of my favorite scenes ever. I stand by that.
You made the point earlier when you were talking about Nic Cage being in some other movie, and you're like, Nic Cage can monologue. But that's essentially what he was doing, right? It was like this 7-minute
physical monologue
of him stretching that and holding it. He's holding it.
Yeah.
You watch him get overwhelmed. It starts happening.
Isn't his hair just
a kid?
It gets crazier as it's going.
Yeah, he could have just grabbed a kid out of the crib and gone, but he doesn't, and that's where he loses. It's like, oh no, and he starts like. It's just this whole progress of like, oh my gosh, what is happening?
I don't understand. Like he's holding one, and I'm like, why are you holding it? And then he's like rocking the other. Then he takes them out of the crib and starts setting them on the ground.
He's measuring them up.
Purpose.
He's trying to find the best one.
He puts one on the seat by himself, and then he's crawling under the crib to get one, and one literally jumps out of the crib on top of him.
Yes.
I find no problem with.
I love it. I love the whole thing. I don't even know what you're talking about, Chris.
You got a good one. You got a good one. Oh, wait. What about Holly Hunter in that scene where they're just driving along, and all of a sudden she just bursts out, "I just love him."
Yes, I love him so much. I love him so much. That is, and then Nic Cage goes, "I know you do, honey." They're all in. They're already all in emotionally at that point.
They're done. I love they have a banner, "Welcome home, son," which they never take down because it's there whenever
Where's it been?
Well, we thought he ought to see their final resting place.
Okay.
Like exasperation with their questions. Well, we thought he already seen his final resting place.
Right.
Okay, I liked one of the things. One of the little quiet moments that I liked. Jail scene where the older black guy is on the top bunk.
Oh man.
And
I've done this monologue many times.
One of my favorite lines of all time is in that scene, dude. Eric, keep going.
No, I don't have it memorized like you guys, but I just remember
I know it.
both. Go ahead, let's hear it.
I'll play high.
Oh, we got it. Oh, this is gonna be great.
What does he say? Okay, I believe he's talking about making crawdads.
Yeah, crawdads. Well, he's like, we don't have crawdads.
We used to eat crawdad, and when there was no crawdad, what did he say? We
ate sand.
No, there was something before
something else
crawdad.
first.
No, he said something else first, and then was
and
none of
he
that.
says when there was none of this, we would eat crawdad.
Yeah.
And then High says like,
no, and then he says, and when there was no crawdad
to be found, we would eat sand.
You ate what?
We ate sand. And then Nic Cage says, then you ate sand?
When there was no meat, we ate fowl. And there was no fowl, we ate crawdad. And when there was no crawdad to be found, we ate sand.
You ate what?
We ate sand.
You ate sand?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's how the scene ends.
Now that was the scene that had me laughing out loud by myself when I watched it. That
is a great scene,
that
dude.
scene. It's so good. It's like Nic Cage's reaction. It's almost like he didn't know that was the line because he's like,
he does. I know.
Sand?
You ate sand?
This dropped off real fast. We went from crawdads to sand? Like, there's no middle ground?
Okay, so...
You didn't eat pine cones or something? You ate sand?
Just sand.
The writing process, and I'm not a writer, but the writing process always fascinates me. And I wonder when I see scenes like that, or even movies like this, like, I just wish I could see an original script. I want to know how much of this movie was on paper from the writer's mind before, like, was that a line? Or did they just say, hey, old man, riff, and let's just see.
Old timer.
Say
old timer multiple times in this movie.
Hey, old timer. I just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wish somewhere there was a script. Not the printed script post movie release that is like, but the actual document that they handed out to learn their
lines. You can look that stuff up online, you know.
Yeah, we'll have to do
find
that.
Scripts.
I'm just saying, I always wonder in those cases, are those true scripts or are they just somebody went back and typed out the movie?
Well, everybody has what screenwriters that help do all that stuff, you know. I don't know.
Okay, so let me speak to this in two ways. First off, I think that no matter what happens, a script like that is never funny until it's brought to life by the person. So, like, I would probably guess that you had I would probably guess that line was in there. We ate whatever it was, and then when there was none of that, we ate crawdads, and then when there was none of that, we ate sand.
You ate sand?
Yeah, you ate sand, or you ate what? Sand. You ate sand. Period. And like, and if you actually, that is pretty funny just saying it. But like, so I would almost believe that was written almost word for word on a page. But like, that doesn't get translated until you have great actors, delivering that line. So let me. So I found a little snippet about this movie, which may actually kind of speak to that. So the Coen brothers are known for being very having a very strong vision for their movies. Like they because they both wrote. So they both wrote Raising Arizona and they both directed it. And they did that with Fargo. They did that with most of their movies. So so they wrote it, and so they have a very strong hand in what is being done. And there's actually there was some contention between them and Nicolas Cage for the fact that Nicolas Cage does not normally go on script. He is known for riffing and kind of doing his own thing. And so I read a couple of quotes, and I don't have them all in front of me, but basically the Coen brothers were saying that a lot of what Nic Cage did, they just had to cut out of the movie because it just didn't fit with what they were trying to do. Right. And but they did say they would much rather work with somebody like Nicolas Cage because he is very imaginative. So he takes the material and he has that sort of that mindset that he kind of jumps in and owns it. But again, they come back and they said they had to cut out most of his kind of like riffing. So with that kind of.
But they probably got a lot to work with.
No, I agree. But when I hear that, kind of come back to your thought,
right.
Phil, right. I almost think that pretty much everything we saw in the movie was written on the page. Now, obviously, there's nuance by the actors that deliver it, but I feel like the Coen brothers run a pretty tight ship. So that would be my guess, is that it was written.
Do you realize that this is the second movie in a row that we've done that is dual director brothers? So now we need to do a Farrelly Brothers movie.
There you go.
No, probably not. That's not a good idea.
All right, let's do this. We've pretty much spent our time. So any final thoughts? We're going to review it in a second, but any just final thoughts on Raising Arizona before we give our final verdict?
Can I throw out a couple quickies?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Number one, John Goodman's reaction at the bank to the old guy when he tells him to freeze and drop to the ground.
Oh my gosh, that was like...
Watch John Goodman's reaction. His eyes just like get really wide and he's just like deer in headlights. It's like no idea what's going on. That's really funny.
You want to?
They are the best. Here's the one thing I like. All of these bad guys, all of these crooks are awful. Like Nic Cage is an awful crook. John Goodman and they're just awful.
That's why they know each other, because they're always in jail together. They always get caught. In fact, that's what the guys say when they're inviting him to take part in the robbery. They said, "Well, we'll either be rich or we'll get caught. Either way, we're taken care of." That's what they say. So that's the backup plan.
Chris, you talk extensively about how ridiculous this movie is, but which depiction do you think is more accurate of a criminal? What you see in Mission Impossible or what you saw in Raising Arizona? How many half-cocked ideas do you think some criminal goes out and goes, hey, I'm going to try to rob this thing, and he winds up caught.
The Darwin Awards are a thing for a reason.
No, sure. No, I get it. I think it's funny.
Scene. Which one is it, son?
All right, I got one more.
I should freeze?
That is so good.
Because if I freeze, I can't.
I'm telling you, go back and watch John Goodman's reaction when that guy says that. He is just like, "What the heck, man?" All right, I got one more thing.
Hold on, he says that later. He says, "That old timer."
Oh yeah,
that old timer rattled me.
He threw me off. Once we got through that, everything was good. All right, so I'm not sure in the dream sequence at the end. I'm not sure that Nathan Jr.'s touchdown was actually a touchdown. I believe it's a fumble, according to the new NFL rules. He throws that ball, spikes it before he's across the goal line.
Uh-oh.
So I just wanted to make sure that I pointed that out because I have a real problem with that.
That's not good.
Also, I have a question about the ending in the dream, and I'm done. Is it a dream? Or is that the future reality?
Uh-oh.
I mean, he dreams it, but he says maybe it's real. Does it become reality?
Well, he dreamt about
Leon,
and that was all real.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, that's true.
Yeah,
that's good. You're falling back on precedent.
Yeah. I'd probably agree with
definitely a dream,
mm-hmm.
but to me, because they're too stupid for that to happen. There's no change in their character. I mean, they take the kid back, but there's still, he's still a criminal.
Yeah.
Can't change his nature. That's the whole point of this movie.
That's hilarious that he just lets him go, too. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Okay.
That's all I got.
So we watched Raising Arizona. It was...
great.
It was good.
So good.
It was good. If we had to rate this movie for our listeners, Phil, what would you give Raising Arizona?
82 panties on the head.
82 is that's a good strong number, man.
Yeah, that's good.
Donnie, what about you? How would you rate Raising Arizona?
I'm going to give it 59 old timer hayseeds.
You ate sand?
You ate sand?
Sand? Oh, I want to change my answer to 32 edible crawfish.
Crawdads, man.
They're crawdads.
Crawdad. All right, we'll throw that away. Cut that up.
So for me, I would give it I'd give it like around 65 huggies.
Yes.
So, look, it's a good movie.
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie.
I didn't look into this because I don't often do research for these.
Thanks for being honest, Phil.
I did a little. Yes. I knew the 3 Academy Award thing. I didn't just make that up out of thin air.
That's good.
Where in the filmography does this fit for the Coen brothers? This wasn't their first movie.
Their second movie.
Yes. Yeah, I think
Blood Simple was first.
Sounds right. Yes. That's
what was it first?
Francis McDormand was in that too.
Yeah. So are we talking about writing or directing?
I thought you were talking about
referenced as a Coen brothers movie. Either way, I don't know.
Okay.
They wrote some other stuff.
They wrote some other
directing,
stuff.
like
so,
because that's their whole thing now, right? I mean, they're known for their directing.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. So Blood Simple was their first movie in '84, then Raising Arizona in '87. So yeah, then you get to.
I never saw Blood Simple. I never saw Hail Caesar.
Hail Caesar's good. Then you get to Fargo, you get to Big Lebowski, you get to Oh Brother Where Art
Miller's
Thou.
Crossing.
Like, I mean,
great.
Come on. Yeah, Miller's Crossing is Hudsucker's. I've never seen Miller's Crossing.
That's a
Hudsucker's
good one,
Proxy
dude.
is good. But then you get the, so you start in '96. So you get Fargo, Big Lebowski, Oh Brother Where Art Thou. Just a great run. 04 you get Lady Killers. 07 you get No Country for Old Men. Burn After Reading in 08. These guys are great, man. True Grit, the remake of True Grit. Inside Llewyn Davis is one of my favorite movies. I love that movie.
I've never seen that.
Oh, so good. I love Oscar Isaacs. And that was actually the first meeting of Oscar Isaacs and Kylo Ren. Adam Driver's in that as well.
Is that the one where they sing together?
They do. They sing together. It's a great song they sing too.
That's like a real. They didn't get a ton of like press, did it?
No, I mean, so it was more of a cult. Like it definitely had a cult following, and it was nominated. It was nominated for Best Picture, I believe. But yeah, it kind of fell under the radar. Inside Llewyn Davis is great though. It's very much a melancholy. They kind of start out as like a duo. And he kind of works into more of like a Bob Dylan type role, and so it's kind of his evolution from going from being a partner to a solo artist, and kind of what that looks like. And he's kind of a crummy guy, and it's good. I mean, I really dug it. And then yeah, Hell Caesar, which was great. So anyway, good guy. I mean, they're great. They're great brother team for sure. All right, so I think that's it. Anything else? You guys were good?
What, are you kidding me? Got us a family here.
What, are you kidding me? We got ourselves a podcast here.
Amen. There you go.
All right, guys. Again, Reel Amigos is a weekly podcast that you can catch on your podcast service of choice. You can also watch our beautiful faces on the YouTubes as well. You can follow us on Twitter. You can follow me at NeoLego. Donnie is at Miles_Donnie. Is that right?
Correct, with an IE.
With an IE, and then you can follow Phil at Philip Miles.
Phil Miles.
Phil Miles. F-I-L Miles. M-I-L-E-S.
That's not a great follow.
You ate sand?
So I just want you every day to tweet that. Yeah. Did you say you ate sand? So you can follow us there, but you can also follow Reel Amigos on Twitter at Reel Amigos. Let us know how you like the show. Also, let us know what movie you'd like to see.
Give us a share.
Tweet at us what movies you would like us to talk about, and we can add it to the roster here as well. But as always, we thank you guys for joining us, and we hope that you enjoyed the show, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Adios.